Hey y'all, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring you a video on the top 5 feedback requests to improve Monster Hunter Now, April edition part 1. So I decided to make a video series highlighting feedback requested from the community. As usual, there's always something to improve to make Monster Hunter Now even better. I speak for no one, I'm just really loud. And because I'm really loud, many voices is much better than one. I could drown out a room, but the fact of the matter is that Monster Hunter Now, the Niantic team listens to feedback, they read feedback, and they watch things on YouTube, etc. So, I'm hoping this video that highlights feedback is going to be on Niantic's radar, and hopefully some of these, or the ones you guys put in the comments, as I will mention at the end slide, are going to be implemented in the future. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, for the first feedback request, we have higher monster density. Monster density should be higher. More spawns in one area makes more sense considering some places don't have a lot of monster spawns. This is especially for rural areas or places don't have high populations. This would encourage more playtime as players don't have to travel as much between monsters. This lack of monsters and activity is a big reason why a lot of players have stopped playing or just don't feel like motivated to play in general, because you go outside, you have to travel many meters just to get from one monster to another. And while the increased spawns during the 20th anniversary event were really great, they honestly should have stayed. Just like how the 1 hour respawns changed, the increased spawns should have definitely stayed. So please bring them back, as they were a huge improvement from current spawns. I live in California, I live in a high population area, I get more spawns than the rural player, I understand that, but more spawns would be nice. Like I mentioned, the 20th anniversary event spawns were really good. Hopefully they come back in the future, but honestly those spawns should have been permanent, considering just how annoying it is to go from one place to another. I don't mind, I personally don't mind, I'm willing to travel that distance or drive that distance, but for other players, they might not be as fortunate, so this is definitely needed. Next we have request number 2, revert or improve the biome changes. So since Deviljho released, the biomes have been randomized. This is likely due to volatile territories. This makes a lot of sense. It would be a lot of a pain if you had to designate biomes, and it probably might have broken something in the game if they kept it the way it was before. However, this needs to be improved. This has caused a lot of frustration for some players, as many biomes have been staying the same. I get it, for the Deviljho event, they're probably trying to fix something up, etc. And again, there's a Deviljho event at the end of this month. So if they do improve it, please make it so it doesn't break, but the system should be reverted or improved to avoid biomes from staying stagnant. If you have the biomes the same as they are, and you're not in a place with a lot of nodes, large gathering nodes, this could be very frustrating. Because hey, I'm looking for those carpenter bugs, but I haven't seen forest in a while in this one particular area where all of my nodes are. So for the role players and just for other players in general, biomes should not stay stagnant, they should change. So let's hope that in the future that they're able to find a solution to this and biomes are reverted back to where they were before with volatile territories, or like I mentioned, there's improvement to the system. Turn the page and we have feedback request number 3. Selling materials for Zenny or exchanging them. Hunters are calling for a system that gives them rewards for trashing excess materials. Rather than throwing away materials, we can get Zenny or higher level mats. In the main series, you can sell materials for money, and some kind of exchange system for other materials would be nice too. Outside of killing monsters and completing quests, etc., there's not really a lot of ways for you to get Zenny. And we find ourselves trashing our material item boxes way too often. Especially if you are like Hunter Rank 200 and you've already maxed out your storage like I have. I'm not Hunter Rank 200 by the way, I'm playing it really slow for that very reason, because I'm not gonna, if I go ham, I don't upgrade more than I would get materials, like many of us do. So, that means I'm going to be wasting and dumping a lot of materials into the Shadow Realm. So this feature would be incredibly nice, and I'm hopefully something like that's being considered in the future, especially since it is a feature in the main series game. So, let us sell our stuff for money, and let the money flow into our banks, and once they finally do release this feature, if it ever does come out, I'm going to cry about how much materials I've actually sent to the Shadow Realm. Now for the final 2, 4, and 5, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on as far as just harping on it. Request number 4, remote hunting. Allow hunters to hunt with their friends regardless of where they are located. with Elder Dragons releasing, this is a must-need mechanic for the future. Sure, it's likely going to be monetized, but allowing free remote hunts every 3 hours like Huntathons would be game-changing. Seriously, to allow us to remote hunt with our friends from across the world, this would essentially connect hunters just like it does with Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise. We have gathering hubs, we have places where hunters meet and gather, and so they can talk to their friends. We have party play essentially across the entire world. Now, as a Pokemon Go player, I understand why remote raids were limited. Honestly, there was never really a dedicated system in any type of Pokemon game where you were raided with anybody except for the latest one, where raids for Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet just became a thing. So, with that being said, Monster Hunter has always had a gathering hub where you can always hunt with more players to hunt down monsters. Heck, that's what we have SOS flares for. What does SOS stand for? Save our ship. Why can't I fire an SOS flare to help with my friends? Or better yet, make an item called the SOS flare so that you can hunt with other your friends and put a system in place where it's free for free-to-play players to have a certain amount of remote hunting in the future. Group hunts were what made the Monster Hunter game so much fun. It was a feature in the main series, so why not Monster Hunter now? Now I get it, in the beginning you didn't really have a lot of online group play because it was 2004 for the PS2. Not all of us had that extra cartridge that you could pop in the back and then like put your Ethernet cable into the PS2. Actually, I don't even think you needed that. You just needed to plug your Ethernet cable in the PS2 and bam, you were able to hunt online with other players. So, we need to do that for Monster Hunter now. It's what made Pokemon Go explode, and I truly believe that is the feature that will shoot Monster Hunter now to the freaking moon and allow us to just rise to the stars and have so much more fun with this game than it is right now. And last but not least, at feedback request number 5, we have crafting potions / paintball / whatever the heck you want to craft, because there should be a system in place to craft potions and other items by now. The thing about it is that this has been a feature that a lot of hunters have been asking since the beginning of the game. Personally, I haven't seen anything, etc., that points to them ever putting this in here at least anytime soon. However, since the first Monster Hunter, crafting has been a thing. Even if the items are rare, crafting items would bring the spirit of the main series games closer to Monster Hunter now. There's literally a reason why we spent time in hunts not actually hunting monsters. We were gathering materials so that we could make our first aid meds and all our mega potions, etc. Again, even if the items are rare, it won't hurt at all. If it's such an issue to craft healing items, just place a limit to how many we can have, just like first aid meds. For first aid meds, we can only have 5, we get 5 claimed per day, and we can have up to 10 along with 5 pending in our shop for a total of 15. If you let us have 10 more, then that'd be great. Let us have 10 so that we can have 25 or like 20 if you don't have that pending for a total of 15 first aid meds. You could set a limit, like I mentioned, 10 craftable potions. This whole thing is necessary because this whole 1 to 2 HP every 45 seconds just doesn't cut it. And if you aren't as fortunate like a lot of other players, you can't just buy potions. I agree that there should be put some monetization in place, but if you have a problem with that, just do remote hunting and that will solve all of your money issues, which I know you don't really have a problem with, Niantic, because you have a cash cow in another game called Pogo, and you have a lot of players and a lot of whales whaling on that game. So, stay away from this game as far as monetization as much, and just let us do remote hunting. Like I mentioned, if you want to do that whole thing about monetization, just monetize remote hunting. It's going to be a thing eventually in the future. And with Elder Dragons coming in the future, we're going to need more healing items anyways if you want us to enjoy your new content coming out or more content in the future. So in closing, that's enough of me talking. So what do y'all want to see in the future for Monster Hunter now? Comment with your thoughts. Seriously, place them all here. I think I'm going to look at making these videos at least twice a month to help voice feedback from the community and just, of course, any woes y'all may have in the future. As we know, feedback has actually worked. A lot of things me and other players have been voicing their opinions on have actually been implemented into the game, and the game is improving. So voicing feedback is really important because they actually tell us they're listening to us, and it shows. With that being said, please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and again, comment with your thoughts for the YouTube algorithm, but also to voice your opinion as to what you want to see improve with the game. There's always something to make better with the game so that we can go out and have great grinds like we always do. And also, good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.